Welcome back to another episode of Trigger Warning. I'm TT.
I'm Kim Osorio.
How was your weekend?
It was, look, let's not act like we weren't just here having a conversation about getting pregnant.
Oh my gosh, I'm over that stage.
The weekend was good, but are you over it?
Oh, I'm so over it.
No more babies?
No more babies.
How
I
many
only
do you have
wanted
again?
one, and just a boy.
Just a boy, and you got your boy.
I got my boy.
And we have graduation coming up.
No,
You
I
had
had
your graduation.
It was like, that's why I'm so tired. It was like a week of festivities, and I have another event tonight. So it was graduation mass, then it was the 8th grade dance, then it was the graduation, and then it's the boat ride around Manhattan.
Oh, that's nice. I
the
love
finale.
it. I love it.
So I'm just like, I'm done. I'm glad I only like have to go through this one time. And it's literally like just 8th grade.
This is my third time. So my son, we're doing all that stuff next week. He's graduating from 8th grade. But he's the third. He's the boy, right? I have
only
two
boy.
girls. Yeah, he's the only boy. If you ask my daughters, they'll be like, that's her favorite. That's not true.
Boys are their mommy's favorites.
They are, though.
Yeah.
But they're different. They're nice. They're sweet.
But the thing about boys is it's a different type of relationship with their mom.
Their mom, yeah.
It's like boys love their moms.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I feel like girls do too, but it's just a different dynamic.
It's different. Also, girls are very independent. So, like, I never had to teach my daughters to turn the stove on. Right?
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
Last year, I had to teach my son how to turn on the stove. You are 13 years old. If you don't figure this out, he was like, huh? Like,
I don't even want my son turning on the stove.
But that's what I'm saying. He did not know. And and the girls were just clowning him. They were like, we learned how to cook when we were like 10 years old. And they did.
Yeah.
YouTube, whatever it was. But the boys is
Huh?
That's it.
And they forget so easily. So they'll turn the stove on, put the food on the stove, and then forget it's there because they're back to the game or whatever they're doing.
Right.
Next thing you know, the smoke alarm is going off because they didn't go back to the uncooked food. Now that's overcooked.
When you're on your third kid, you get to the point where you anticipate things before they happen because you've been through it, right? So, like, I think my daughter put aluminum foil, my oldest, in the microwave before, right? So, like, before my second and third even got to using the microwave, I was like, you never put aluminum foil in here, right?
Yeah.
You have to, like, register, like, the mistakes that have happened with your first kid.
Yeah.
And then by the time you get to your third, it's just like, don't do this, don't do that. Like, I feel bad. I'm always telling my son, like,
does the middle child feel slighted?
They say that.
Yeah.
But my middle child is probably, I hate saying this, but she's probably the most independent of all three of them.
Wow.
So we'll see. The jury's still out. She's in the 11th grade. So she's trying to figure out what she's doing for college.
You have a nice little gap.
Yeah. But I said I could have another one.
I don't know why.
Only reason why I wouldn't have another baby is because I'm not getting that fat again. Like, I gain weight when I'm pregnant. I got to work on losing it. But I could do another baby.
I gained 80 pounds with my son.
So just so y'all know, I could do another baby. No, I don't know. I like that stage of when they're small and cute. But I'm happy now that I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I could.
You got something you want to tell me?
No. I could, but I'm not. Because it was, what's the actress's name that was pregnant at 54?
I know Janet Jackson was pregnant over 50, and somebody else recently came out.
A lot of women. Yeah, that's the one I'm talking about.
I don't want to do that. I want to travel. I want to get this kid out the house, off to college, and I want to live my life. But that's always been my ideal goals, right? Mm-hmm. So there are women who don't have these type of goals, but I was always a one and done type of girl.
That was it.
That was it. One and done. I love my nieces and nephews. I have a lot of them. I come from a family of 8. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so, he has plenty of cousins.
Yeah. You didn't need me to pop another one out.
Right.
You got enough to work with. Yeah.
Exactly. Speaking of divorces, Jeannie Mai and Jeezy is getting a divorce. You saw something triggering online.
I did.
That you wanted to talk about today.
I did, because people were going in on her when she put out a comment on Cassie's apology, right? So Jeannie Mai puts a comment, and she's like, Cassie, you're a voice of whatever it is that she said. I don't know the exact quote, but it was in support of Cassie, right? But the internet went in on her because of the allegations she has against Jeezy. And one of the most interesting comments I saw was someone said, y'all tread lightly because you didn't believe Cassie either, right? So I think that there's this, constant debate of like, okay, it's her word against his word. But when it comes to these accusations, do we turn a blind eye or side with the celebrity when we feel like we know that person, right? This is a little bit of the conversation that we had before. People, and I know you have a different perspective on this, right? Like, people don't believe Jeezy, and I don't know what to believe. I don't know a lot about their relationship. People don't believe he put hands on her.
Well, because I don't feel like he really knew this lady before he married her. And I think his situation and Puff's situation.
That this lady is crazy, TT.
No, I'm not going there, but I'm saying it's relatively different than Puff's. Let me just say why. Because Puff, there's kind of always been this rumor about him, right? And a lot of folks turned a blind eye. Jeezy, on the other hand, has always had the rumor of being a stand-up guy, a real G. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that this cannot be in his character, because we don't know a person when they're behind closed doors, right? But I kind of look at this through a different lens. It's like, I feel like Jeezy was a little hoodwinked when it came to this relationship. Okay. I feel like he got into this relationship thinking it was one thing, but in reality it turned out to be another. And then he was like, holy shit, I didn't sign up for this. So now I'm bowing out. Because it's unfixable, because this is not the person I really signed up for. I feel like she kind of catfished him a little bit. And I feel like because at the time they got married, she was all on her talk show talking about the dark meat and this and that.
I remember that.
And then when they got together, he kind of gave her a little bit of clout, and he gave her some coolness when her career was on a downcline and the show was on a downcline. I feel like Jeezy gave her a little bit of like swag she never had before. And then, him being a real G, he ain't really with the cameras and the stories about their life leaking all over the internet and, Hollywood news and this person got the inside scoop on their relationship. I don't feel like that is Jeezy's character at all. Like, he's such a real G that he keep his life. He's a rapper when he goes out and be a rapper. He's a businessman when he goes out and does his business. He's a private man when it comes to his family, his relationships. If you notice, Jeezy's personal life outside of like BMF and that time has always kind of remained private. Like, remember, like, we never really knew he dated anyone or anything.
Yeah, I don't know. See, the thing is, I don't have a lot of investment in their relationship, right? Like, I don't know Jeezy. I don't even think I ever met him.
He's such a nice guy.
Right, but you have met him.
I have met him. I have interviewed with him. I have been in many rooms with him. But again, I also have been in many rooms with Puff.
That's my question to you, because it's tough now in light of what has happened with Puff, right? Do you, when you see these accusations, because to me, I'm just looking at it, it's like, I don't know the truth, right? It's her word against his. It's Cassie's word against Puff until we see a video, right? But I look at it like, immediately as an audience, when a woman accuses a man, a celebrity, of domestic violence, I feel like people automatically write that person off like she's lying. And that's, with the Jeezy and Ginny Mai thing, that's how I looked at it. I'm like, well, damn, I didn't even really research it enough. I didn't look into it enough. But I was like, well, damn, the internet just shut her down. Even when you said we don't know this lady, right? I thought it was funny because I think hip hop looks at her like an outsider. Like, she's not part of this community.
Well, she never was.
And we protect who is.
Well, okay.
We protect our own. We protect who is. So when you call to this lady, I laugh, because that's how we treat people who aren't in the community. Like, I don't know this lady. She, and when he married, you said when he got with this lady, right? And it's true. That's how we feel. We look at Jeezy as being from within our culture, right? So we want to protect him. And that's how I feel like you know, with Diddy and Cassie, I'm not saying because she was obviously a part of the culture, right? She's always been around. But because Diddy was such a representation of hip hop and had such a legacy, we were very protective initially of him. And then we saw the video and we're like, oh my God, I can't believe how horrible he is. And now everybody's on, and with a microphone in front of them talking about how horrible he was to her. So I wonder about the Jeezy and Jenny Mai thing, just because I feel like people don't like her. She's an outsider, people don't like her. So immediately they just dismiss whatever she said. And that's hard for a woman if she did go through that. And if he did put hands on her. And if she, because I always say this, it takes a lot for a woman to come out and say this happened to me, because it's humiliating. And she does have a public image and a public profile, right? It is humiliating to make those accusations and have to be that person. So I kind of look at it like from a different lens, like, well, would she really say that? If he didn't put his hand, would she really go there knowing that you're going to jump in that lion's den and people are going to eat you up for making those accusations
Why
against
put yourself
him?
out there if it's not true?
That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And maybe that, and I'm not saying I believe every woman that makes an accusation, but whenever I come into a situation and I read it, I look at it and I'm like, well, why would she say that?
Yeah.
Like, if I don't see a
Listen,
clear
I'm not
motive,
dismissing her at all.
Right.
Let me be clear. I'm not dismissing her
Right.
at all. I think that every woman should be taken seriously.
The accusations, right?
Absolutely. Because you never know who someone is behind closed doors. So one of the big headlines that came out too was The Dream is now being lumped into this sexual assault category as well, because his protege, former artist who says that she moved to LA to work with him and to have this big career, and he promised her all of these things, but what she got was abuse.
Yes.
And in that document was really disturbing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, now here's somebody who's worked with Beyonce.
Right.
Who's worked with some of the biggest names in the culture, and who happens to be one of my favorite artists.
Right.
To read that was so disappointing for me, because anybody that knows me knows that I love The Dream. And I love his writing, producing. He's just dope 360 around. But I wonder if Beyonce, being the type of figure that she is and how much she stands on business when it comes to women, would she separate herself from him as a bold statement of, I do not condone this behavior? Right.
So here's the question. So you believe the allegations against The Dream?
When I read it, it's hard not to believe. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's hard not to believe.
So it was based on like what you read.
Right.
That's interesting, coming off of Jeannie Mai. I keep saying her, this coming off this lady. Coming off this lady and going to, do you know the name of the girl who made the accusations?
I think the difference between Jeannie and Jeezy for me is that the story has been flipped so many times, and I just feel like it's all over the place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So there's too many.
It's too many inconsistencies for me.
Yeah, it's a lot going on in their situation.
Right? So it becomes, when I look at it in its entirety, it's like, oh, you did this, you did that, you did this, you did that, now you did this, now you did that. It's like, yo, I want to see the full spectrum, because I feel like that situation is such a publicity-driven divorce that we're missing the real and the consistency.
Right.
Does that make sense to everybody in the room of what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I feel like it's too much people in their business before it even makes it to court. Like, how does TMZ or, People Magazine know that this is about to happen before it happens, before it actually makes it to the court? Somebody is leaking this information.
Because the court of public opinion really
shifts
for them. It shifts, but it's for a couple like Jeezy and Jeannie Mai, this lady, the court of public opinion is almost more important than what happens in court, because their careers and their bottom line is dependent on their public image.
So in the documents, he is being accused of rape, sex trafficking, and assault. That is what is in the documents that she is accusing him of.
Okay.
Again, you know, women should be taken serious when these allegations are being made. And I'm just curious to see how this is going to play out, because he's so involved in these super mega stars.
Right. Well, we were just talking about press strategy, right? And I think, again, when these allegations come out, it really hinges to me on public perception, right? So I'm sure there's a strategy in even putting these allegations out, right? Like, I'm not sure where they came out at first, if it was a TMZ thing or how people found out.
She said she did she had a quote in the New York Times.
Right.
You know, and I feel like the New York Times picked that up because they know that he is tied to Beyonce.
Of course, but usually when you're filing a case of that magnitude, your legal team will have a PR arm, and they'll be like, we're going to do this. We're going to file this on this day, and on that day, we're going to put you in front of CNN or whatever. It's always a part of the case. It's a strategy that attorneys use to shape public opinion, right? So, like, even them, and I don't know. I have to do more deep dive into that Dream case. Like, I know the allegations sound horrible. I don't know him. I've never met him. I don't know his character. I don't know anything about her either. So I think I got to do my due diligence. It's just that it's also, if I'm an attorney, it's a good time right now. If I've been talking to you about your situation and you've been thinking about filing a case against this person, and in light of everything that we're seeing right now, if you notice, it's almost like the Me Too, the second wave or third wave of Me Too with these allegations.
But that's why I'm saying, like, you know,
because everybody's like,
what's the lesson in all of this? Like, what's the lesson in all of this? When we see our icons, you know, or people that have contributed so much to the culture, what's the lesson in all of this? What's the biggest lesson we can learn? The Dream, Puff, you know, Jeezy. What is the lesson?
I think for me, right, I look at, the lesson for them is that when you get to a certain level of success, right, and money and power, you have a big responsibility to conduct yourself, not just, you know, don't go out there and do these things and abide by the law. No, like, you need to understand that you have so much influence over your audience, over the community, that you have a responsibility to act accordingly and to act actually like a leader, because you can change the course of, like, people and how the public responds to things. You know what I'm saying?
Mine is very simple. Mine is very simple. What you do in the dark will always come to light. And one day you will face the man in the mirror. So whatever demons that you're running from that will cause such horrific behavior, change them.
Right.
Get the help you need to change them. That's very simple. It's a hard thing to do, but it's a very simple step.
It is, but it's also something that I believe all of us need to do, right? We all need to do that. We all have that pressure every day. But I feel like a certain level of celebrity, you need to understand your responsibility. I think you have a responsibility. And,
well, you have to have the responsibility for yourself first.
For yourself first, but...
Like, I just think at this point, you can't give a... Like, you shouldn't give a fuck about what the public sees you as.
Oh, well, that's their whole business. You can't say that.
But
that's
no,
their whole business.
But no, but your whole business is going to be ruined if you don't face the person in the mirror. The person that you need to please and to fix is yourself.
Right.
Your family. Mm-hmm. Who gives a fuck about what Booby Scooby writes on Instagram? I don't give a fuck about that person. That person contributes shit to my life.
I feel like a lot of these bigger celebs who have made all of this money, they're really out there living for that. Like, they're in a different...
Because they're lost. They're lost.
They are lost.
There are a lot of people living for the gram, living for the likes.
If you can't... Like, you ever notice, like, there's some people online that just can't... They have to comment on everything. They have to say something on everything. It's like, I need to be heard. Like,
come on, you in TV, Kim.
But that's what I'm saying.
But you're in TV, and you're in reality TV. You produce a lot of shows. You know that a lot of people live for that dopamine.
Yes,
fix.
but I'm saying, but it's a part of your bottom line. It becomes a part of your business. If you don't do it, you lose it almost. So a lot of people are grasping that. And it's like, even speaking about this, right? Like the comments that 50 Cent was saying about the Michael Rainey situation, right? And a lot of people were in the comments saying, why is he talking about it? He should let Michael Rainey speak about it, right?
He did.
Obviously,
he did.
I know he did, but in a way, I don't want to say he contradicted what he said.
Who?
Right?
50?
50, right. Because he said on the post, you know, after Michael Rainey put a statement out.
Michael Rainey Jr. was on a live stream.
Right.
With a streamer, a popular streamer. I can't remember.
Talil.
Okay.
And look, I'm not in the Casanat group of streaming and watching these kids. Well, they're all a crew, right?
But Kim, you out of that age bracket, child. You ain't sitting on nobody damn straight for 20 hours.
But did you know who Talil was?
No, but I'm not also my son's age. He probably know who he is.
But there are streamers that we know, right? So this situation, believe it or not, I believe is gonna make that streamer more popular.
Or somebody has to step in and really educate them on where the line in the sand is drawn, because that streamer did come out and say what happened was wrong because he had to. He had to. He didn't realize at first, like, that is not a good thing to do.
It got too big.
So let me just recap what happened.
Okay.
So Michael Rainey Jr. was on his live stream. His sister comes up to him, grabs his private parts on the live stream, and you see him laughing and kind of moving her hand away from his private area.
Right.
And then 50 obviously, you know.
Well, that happens, right, on the live stream. Everyone sees it. Everyone starts reporting about it. And then Michael Rainey puts out a statement in his story, right? And he's, you know, because I think for him, he probably has a team of people. They have a big show out. It's right now, this is like, I hate to say it, but big promotion for their show. They just dropped, right? Because it's like, make something happen is almost like what I know a lot of people do when they're trying to promote something. I'm not saying that they set that up. I'm not saying that, but maybe I am. You know what I mean? Like, who knows? Like, that was a crazy situation that he was in. He's on a live stream. The sister of the streamer grabs his crotch area. He's like so uncomfortable. You know, he's like laughing, and he's, you know, he doesn't really say anything to her. And then one of the other streamers comes and like, oh, yo, y'all didn't see? And then it blows up online. And then he puts out a statement, and in the statement, he is responsible in how he's responding to it, right? So he's talking, I forgot exactly what the statement was, but he's like, this isn't right, sexual assault isn't right, because, you know, and we're looking at it. Whatever it is that he said, to me, I felt like it was a responsible statement from a young actor of his caliber.
You're talking about
Michael Rainey Jr. To understand, after seeing how it went viral, just what his responsibility was to speak on the matter. That's my point, right? Michael Rainey Jr. made a responsible statement after that, because he saw how it traveled, and it, you know, it's embarrassing. 50 then put out after it he said something on his post like, I always took it as flattery. I didn't know we're not pressing no charges, right?
But yeah, before that, he said that, you know, he said the flattering thing, and then he...
Right. He said it was flattering. Now, he's like, I never looked at anything like this. This is flattering to me.
And then Vibe came out and said
an article
that it's no laughing matter.
It's not. They have a point, and that's the thing. Like, you know, I know we joking and everything online, you know, social media, but we just went through, like, you know, all of these cases that are out there right now where women were sexually assaulted by men. So, in light of that, even in the times, because timing is everything, this happens to a guy. We need to look at that the same way. Like, that's a violation. This is wrong. This is why it's wrong. Because to me, people are not understanding what's wrong with what's going on. You get out of everybody's private space. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a violation. But I think for men, right? I had this conversation with a young man yesterday, and he said, for men to be able to say something and to speak out against it is a question of their masculinity. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was a very smart statement from this kid, because I was like, not being a man, I can't look at it like that, right? So for some, and you don't get more masculine than 50 Cent, right? So, like, of course, here comes, like, the uber masculine dude coming down, like, nah, we good, you know, it's all good, like, this is flattering to us. No, it's not, because people need to understand what the act of sexual assault is, right? So his and
you can't go hard on Puff and then laugh something like this off.
It's you don't want to put your team, you know, or anybody that works under you in situations, right, where this could happen. And really, that's a question of where he was, right? Like, because, he laughed it off or whatever.
And he said it was flattering because as an artist, I guess he's used to women grabbing on
groping
him and stuff
like
that.
That's part of his image, right? Like the
stage
sexy,
performance,
oiled down, you know what I'm saying? Like,
But this situation was not that.
No, he's just standing there.
He's standing there. He didn't ask for that. He didn't, you know, invite that. He was just there.
He was just standing there
as a guest to be on a person's show.
Right.
And had that been a female, the holy grail.
Right. Now, I looked at this just having, you know, worked with a lot of artists in the, you know, media consulting lane. And I said, this is a press no. First of all, why is he in the room with all these people? Like, are they all part of the live stream? There's kids in there. I'm like, this is crazy. Who put him in that room? But stars, whoever your PR person is, somebody needs to be getting in trouble or reprimanded, because why was he in that situation? He's Michael Rainey, standing up against a wall. It looked hot as hell in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's kids around. Somebody's sister's coming up to me, grabbing my package. Like, that shit look crazy to me.
Yeah.
From a PR standpoint. Right? So then that happens, it goes viral. Now, that's why I said you never really know what these things is. People be setting shit up. But not saying they set that up. I'm just saying the whole situation to me looked nuts.
Yeah.
It looked nuts. He's on, did you see him standing up on the side of the wall?
Yeah.
He's Michael Rainey Jr. They just dropped a huge show. It's like the last season, whatever. He's standing on the wall like Cramp, and this girl is up on him like it looked crazy. And
like, why is he there in the first place?
Right, and that, like, is he doing the stream? Is he supposed to be on the stream? Like, are you about to call him up? What's going on? But then that happens, and then the response is like, we good over here. It's flattery. Like,
no.
It just looked mad ghetto in there to me.
And then it's like,
I mean, I don't know.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying with these streamers. They are so young, and I don't want to say naive, but it's like they don't really have media training. You know,
None.
They just go on their lives, they built their audience, and they don't know maybe sometimes what's breaking the law or not.
Right, and then they don't understand the responsibility that they have. If you have, like, how many followers? Like, I read
Millions.
That he had 130,000 on that.
Oh, on that particular live.
Right,
okay.
so, like, that's a lot of people that you're broadcasting to and saying things, and they're young and they're getting all this attention. I think in his statement he made a comment that said, sorry if my first day on set. I think in that statement, the streamer says something like, my sister had never seen a artist or a star of that magnitude. Mm-hmm. So it was almost like, not making an excuse for his sister, but like, you know, I don't condone that. He had to say something. Someone was wise enough to be like, you need to put out a statement.
Yeah.
Right? And then his statement being like, that's the first time she's been in a situation
with a
big
if my son was in a space like that and a woman did that to him or any female did that to him and I was watching that stream, I'm not going to hold you. I would put hands on her. Like, I would seriously put fucking hands on her. Like, don't touch my child like that. Right. Like, even though he's a grown man.
Right.
But if that was like my son and I'm watching that,
I know.
I would put hands on her.
But that's why I say for us, we looking at it.
Or if it was my little brother, I would probably put hands on her.
That's
and he's grown.
Violation. Like, you violated him.
And I know some men that wouldn't be with that. Like, I do know men that would not be with that. Like, yo, don't touch me. Like, why are you touching me?
I know
like,
a lot of men that would be like, don't do that. Like, because it's crazy. It was more than just, was crazy. It was more than just sexual assault. It was also very crazy.
Yeah.
Like, what's wrong with you?
Was you drunk, high? What's going on here?
That's why I said it looked mad ghetto to me, because I'm like, what's happening in this room where you have these people in there that are like, you know, dropping big shows, you know, and I don't even know where they do this streaming at, but it was a whole bunch of people in there.
Did you watch the episode?
I did.
Did you like it?
I was all right. I'm a fan of that series. I like Raising Kanan the best.
I like that series a lot.
Power? The Ghost series? Yeah, I like it too, but I thought that the first episode was a little weak. But we'll see next week. It was all
over the place for me.
Yeah, it was a little weak. I was like, well, I don't know what's going on here. Yeah.
Have you been paying attention to Bia and Cardi B? Did you listen to that record Bia put out?
I've only heard a little clip because, you know, if it ain't really good, I'm not going to listen to the whole thing. You got about 10 seconds for me when I'm scrolling. So from what I listened to, I mean, here's the thing. Bia gotta do that because she's not in Cardi's position, right? Mm-hmm. Bia has to do that. And I pay attention to it. I'm like, okay, you know, whatever little beef they got, she's going at her. Cardi don't gotta give her as much attention because you're Cardi B. And she made me laugh though in one of her live streams because in one of her lives because she was like, you know, I'm gonna give this to you, right? So you're so upset at whatever is happening between y'all that you are giving her so much light. Because if Cardi don't talk about it, nobody cares.
Right.
If Bia just drops a record, I don't care. But it's Cardi talking about it that people is care putting the light on it. And so it's almost like whatever Bia is saying is cutting into you because you're responding, and you don't have to respond. You're Cardi B.
You know, I honestly think that Cardi B is a global superstar.
That's what I'm saying.
Bigger than any of the rap girls out. And I don't care.
Arguable, right?
If she has one album. It's not arguable.
You think she's the biggest
female
rapper?
She is the biggest. When it comes to her diversity and global impact. What I think a lot of these girls are, and I hate to say this, is I think that they're really just, it boils down to jealousy. What is the reason? And I know Bia, and I know Cardi, and I like them both. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I have a relationship with both of those young ladies. Mm-hmm. And Bia is actually born on my birthday, Leo gang, twin sister. But honestly, for you to go in the studio to make a record about someone, what is the reasoning other than jealousy?
Rap. That's rap. But
what is the reason of beefing with Cardi?
I want your spot. I'm coming for your spot. I gotta do this. You're the top dog, and I gotta take you down. That's the formula that guys do.
I just think it's just so unnecessary, and it's not good. And I don't know who. I don't know if it was on one of these men podcasts that said Bia is a better rapper. Like, that record was horrible. I did not think that this record was good.
I didn't listen to the whole thing, so clearly I didn't think it was that good either.
I did not think that this record was good.
She's going at
But
Cardi.
I think Bia is a good rapper.
Right.
But this record was not good. It wasn't.
So, and I didn't hear the whole thing. So you're saying that you feel like her motivation for doing it was out of jealousy? Is that?
I just feel like it was out of jealousy. I feel.
I don't know either of them. So